Hi everybody, this is Ospreyeye from MyChartCoach.com, and we're going to take a look at some of the stocks that were in play today. These are stocks that were on our top 11 largest percentage gainer list for the day. And what we do each day is we go through and we chart these plays on the website and in the chat. So for real-time technical analysis with support and resistance levels, please check that out during the trading day. First up is GLYC. Okay, this had made a very bullish move the last couple of weeks. It had pulled back on Monday after closing well above the upper Bollinger Band on Friday on the 19th. And what we were looking for is a close above the closing price on the 19th to signal more upside potential. Okay, that happened today as it was heading into the close. We were putting out alerts saying that this was looking like it wanted to push higher with the close going above high close horizontal resistance. And then GLYC did move in after hours trading. Keep in mind they do have a 6 million share offering in the 12s. So many times these companies like to pump the share price before the dump. So always keep that in mind. When a stock is breaking out on the daily chart, we'd like to look at a longer time frame to find the next resistance level. And so for GLYC, what we needed to do is look at this monthly chart here. And as you can see here, there's this big breakout this month. The candle's busting through the upper Bollinger Band, and it is currently hitting this April and May 2014 resistance zone. It did break that level after hours, closing I think around 1450 or so. That was near the upper wick of this candle. And if it can bust through that level tomorrow, the next key level to break is going to be this closing price back here on March 2014. So that's just below 1650. That's going to be the next key level to break. If you can bust that, you'll be talking about 19. The thing is, you never know how far they're going to pump it before they dump. They always like to get the share price really high before they unload the shares. So the key is to just continue following the charts. We suggest following the 15-minute chart. As long as candles are forming above the middle Bollinger Band, the uptrend should continue. If the middle Bollinger Band does break on the 15-minute chart, that will signal downside risk. Okay, let's look at JDST. Okay, this junior gold miners index 3 times here had a very this is the inverse. This is this is going to be shorting the junior gold miners. And basically what's going on here is there was a pullback below the middle Bollinger Band. So you had this drop below the middle Bollinger Band, and then the 50-day simple moving average was hit, which is currently at 68.20. Notice how this level was hit multiple times and held. And then today the bullish development was the close above EMA's 4, 8, and 13, and also above the 100-day simple moving average currently at 71.36. This is all signaling more upside potential. This is the bullish move that everybody's been looking for the last several days. Holding the 50-day simple moving average is a good sign that it wants to push higher. Now closing above EMA 13 is putting the middle Bollinger Band on deck. So our next target is 82. Okay, if it can bust above 82 and get a close above that level, then we could be talking about a possible new uptrend and a run back up to the 200-day simple moving average. First things first, it needs to break the middle Bollinger Band to break this downtrend. Currently, JDST is in a downtrend. It is bouncing off of support. If it can hold support here and bust through resistance, it could possibly start a new uptrend. You have a bull cross up here on 80X, very bullish development on RSI. It's now back above 50, and at 51 there's plenty of room to run until overbought levels. You have Fasto back above 20. Okay, look at PSAR up here at 84. The dots are getting ready to flip once it hits that level. You've got the MACD pinched on the 8, 13, and 5. A crossover will be a signal that there's a possible new uptrend starting. What we really like to see is a crossover on the 12, 26, and 9 as our indicator that a new uptrend is beginning. Okay, so for JDST, what I recommend doing is following this 15-minute chart tomorrow. As you can see here, this was the classic breakout. Okay, notice yesterday's candle, it closed below the middle Bollinger Band, and then today it opened with the close above the middle Bollinger Band. That was a signal that it was wanting to be in play. And then when you had this candle at 10 o'clock with the close above the 50 simple moving average, that was the signal that the chart was really heating up. And if you didn't take a position, or if you took a starter here on the break above the middle Bollinger Band, this was the signal to add more or to enter. longer. Okay, and so once it got back above this 200-day simple moving average, that was putting the 300 on deck. And notice how when it broke the 200, it ran all the way up to the 300, and then it pulled back. And now it hit that multiple times. You know, it formed multiple tops here. You know, it formed this double top, all right, and then it closed right below the 300 simple moving average at 77.94. In order for JDST to remain bullish and to head higher tomorrow, it needs to break above that level and turn it into support. The key level to hold is going to be this middle Bollinger Band at 76.27. If that breaks, you could see a drop all the way back down to this 73 range. So big move here for JDST today. It is currently at this crucial level on the 15-minute chart. Notice that you've got this triangle pattern here that has formed, and it's you've got an ascending triangle with the horizontal resistance here at 77.70, and then you've got ascending support. Tomorrow there's either going to be a break above the red line, which is going to signal more upside potential, and a break above the 300 simple moving average, or a break below the green line in the middle Bollinger Band, and that will signal downside risk. Okay, let's look at MBRX. Okay, this is a stock that was really strong into the close today. If you look here, it closed above 50 on RSI, so it's at 52 with plenty of juice to run until overbought levels. It did close above 80 on Fasto, and so it remains to be seen if it can head higher in the overbought power zone. What we liked about this chart was this bullish move above the middle Bollinger Band. Notice this dotted purple line here. Now the last couple of times there was closes above that level, it failed to turn into support, and the downtrend continued. So we are not holding our breath here, but we are keeping our eye out for a bullish change in trend. What we want to see tomorrow is another close above the middle Bollinger Band and a white candle form. That would be a change from this previous trend of forming red candles after closes above the middle Bollinger Band. So each one of these closes were followed by a red candle. We'll see if that pattern continues. If a white candle forms tomorrow, that's going to be a bullish change in trend, and that's going to be putting our next target, which is the 50-day simple moving average at 929. Now, if it can break above the 50-day simple moving average, we could be talking about a big run up to the 100 at 137. Now at $1.31. Now, keep in mind here there is a PSAR bull flip, so that's a good signal that the chart is heating up. Volume is trying to pick up, but this is a very thinly traded stock. Notice these very, very small volume bars here. What we are looking for now is a bullish volume spike. You know, it's never, it would be a more impressive move today if there was a big volume bar that formed with the push above resistance. So there needs to be, volume needs to enter the trade to confirm that this wants to head higher. If you look here, MACD has been pinched, and the MACD line is starting to pull away from the signal line on both time frames. So keep an eye on MBRX. We're going to see if it can follow through tomorrow and possibly get a new uptrend going. It did close very strong on the 15-minute chart above all the moving averages. So it did close above the 300 simple moving average in the 15-minute chart. That's one of the reasons why we like this setup. Another stock that formed a really nice setup today on the 15-minute chart was PLX. It also closed above the moving averages, closed above the 300. So we're looking for potential continuation tomorrow. It needs to break above 50 on both RSI and Fasto. You do have plus DI hooking up and minus DI hooking down. If the green line can cross the red line to the upside, that'll be a signal that the bears are taking control. Keep an eye on PSAR, currently at 0.889. When the share price hits that level, the green dots are going to flip below the candles, and that's going to signal a possible new uptrend. And if you notice here, the dots have been above the candles for a very long time. So having a PSAR bull flip is a big bullish signal. The next level to break is going to be this middle Bollinger Band at 882. If you can break that, and then you've got the 100-day simple moving average, which is just above it at 925. If it can break above both those levels, it could possibly get a new uptrend started and possibly make a run up to this 50-day simple moving average. First things first, it needs to break the middle Bollinger Band. One reason why we like this chart is because it closed above EMA's 4, 8, and 13. Notice how they've been big resistance during this downtrend. So the close above is signaling that it is signaling more upside potential. Keep in mind that these dead cat bounce plays, notice it was at the low down here, are the riskiest trades to make. Anytime a stock is in a very strong downtrend on the daily chart, there's more likely for the continuation of the downtrend as opposed to a bullish change in trend. So always keep that in mind, that these are the riskiest trades to make. It's always better to concentrate on stocks that are already in an uptrend band on the daily chart. What we are looking for here is the point in time when there's a bullish change in trend. When one trend is stopping, the downtrend, and then the new trend is beginning, the uptrend, many times that is the best entry point. So many times you can get the low entry point when you can nail the bullish change in trend. And that's what we try to do a lot of times, and that's why we focus on this middle Bollinger Band, because stocks forming below the middle Bollinger Band signal the stock is in a downtrend, and if the candles are forming above, it signals it's an uptrend. Keep in mind the middle Bollinger Band is also the 20-day simple moving average. Notice there was a green volume spike. It's not a big spike. It was larger than the previous volume bars. Many times when you at a bottom, you'll see a volume dry up, and then what we look for is a volume spike to signal that the stock is ready to push higher. It's always better when you get a bullish volume spike on a bounce. Okay, and then here we've got MACD crossing over on the 8.13 and 5 and on the 8.13 and 5 and the 12.26 and 9. Both of those are signals that there's a possible new uptrend starting. So keep an eye on PLX. It's got to break that middle Bollinger Band to be in play. Here's another stock, MARA. Now this is a dead cat bounce play, another one, and this has some more work to do. Notice it's still below 30 on RSI and below 20 on Fasto. It needs to break above both those levels. When it breaks above 30 on RSI and above 20 on Fasto, that's going to be your signal that the chart is heating up. Now notice how the candles for the last couple months have been riding below the middle Bollinger Band and have really been cruising below EMA 4. That's the pink line. You know, the last close above that level was back here on this white candle, the first week of May. And so today a white candle formed, and there was a bounce, but it still failed to close below EMA 4 at 25. And so what we're looking for now is a close above that level for the signal that there's potentially more upside. Now it doesn't mean it will fall through. You know, for these dead cat bounce plays, we like to see a close above EMA 4, and then what we want to see is a break above EMA 8. As long as EMA 4 holds, then the stock will still be in play. Never hold a penny stock that is forming candles below EMA 4 on the daily chart. Unless you're short. You know, this is where you want to be short the stock, or you want to be on the sidelines. You want to wait until that break above resistance to enter. Follow the 15-minute chart. Look for that to set up. That will signal first. Notice this big candle, this volume bar on the 22nd, and the lower wick on the candle on the 22nd. That was a signal that bounce players were loading. This is what sparked our interest in the stock today. Now we're just looking for follow through. Okay, so this is a start with the white candle and the bullish Harami reversal pattern that formed today. Now we need to see a close above EMA 4 tomorrow and bullish reversal confirmation to signal that MARA is actually in play. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this chart and for viewing the charts in this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, please check us out at mychartcoach.com and our YouTube channel at mychartcoach.com. Thank you.